Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. A very special and momentous day as Bitcoin shoved its massive girthy green dollars all the way to almost $13,000 in the early morning hours. So we got plenty to talk about. It's getting all of the targets that we spoke about yesterday and even some more. So with all that said, I do want to wish you the best, the happies. I want to be wishing you well on this, what is it, hump day? Is it hump day? Hey, happy hump day. Happy Wednesday, whatever it is. Cryptocurrency doesn't sleep, so it doesn't even matter what day it is. So my God, without further ado, let's get in a live stream right here, right now, and initiate that good old teleportation, and I will see you in the Bitcoin magical. Wait, nope, sorry, wrong chart. Actually, this is just my account. Of course, for full disclosure, I suppose I should start off with this. I am still fully long in all my positions. I don't really have any reason to close them right now. We'll be moving up some stops, probably around the 11,300-ish regions, but right here, right now, Bitcoin looking pretty damn strong and very powerful move to start off the morning. So with all that said, get back into the charts right on over here. We do see daily is, well, just basically hitting that next major level. So I suppose the best thing to look at is actually our more longer term time frames here. Let's go to the weekly for a second, and we do see the weekly is coming up towards our next major area of potential consideration, and this was born off of the idea that we spoke about yesterday with if the daily were to close above the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement right around 11,300, 11,500, then yes, we would be looking for the next move up to around the 618 Fibonacci retracement. And look at this, while it isn't exactly perfect, it has gotten pretty damn close. And when we're talking about these bigger numbers, close enough is close enough, more importantly. And about a couple $100 off the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, and that is just about good enough to me. Probably do get another try a little bit later in the day, but I do believe that we find a little bit of a local top somewhere around this region, as we are starting to line up with some pretty major areas. So first and most importantly, as we just spoke about, the 618 Fibonacci retracement is the extremely likely, statistically speaking, retracement to provide a little bit of counter trend momentum, if you want to call it that. Not only that, but we do see just this kind of past prior consolidation going on in early 2018, January of 2018, and December of 2017. This is perhaps better seen on a 3-day. Let's go down to a 3-day, and we can go back all the way over here, and we do see that we're kind of hitting this next level, this next territory, which is born off of this horizontal right here, kind of governing this consolidation area phase leading on into this first major dump that we saw in the beginning of 2018. Well, that is the exact same area that we're actually currently getting up to right now, consistent with the 618 Fibonacci retracement, as we showed right on over here. So both those things confluent with each other. And then third, and perhaps more importantly, we do see the volume profile getting that next sort of, again, I wouldn't call these high value nodes. They're not high value nodes, but we do see a discrepancy between what we've been looking at. And if I take all this off, you'll see it very easily. Once we got above this hump right on over here, just a clear acceleration to our next area around the lower 13,000s region. In fact, we didn't quite get there just yet, but assets typically like to float towards area of higher liquidity, and right now we're kind of in no man's land because we're caught between this segment right over here and this segment that we just broke out right on over here. And when you get into that sort of a posturing, you're going to see price action just absolutely ripping. So we spoke about this for the last couple of weeks. Now we're actually seeing it populate itself today. So I'm really so while today it's probably going to sound like a little bit of a hindsight thing, this is something that we've been looking for the past for the past couple weeks, and this is why I repeat a lot of those higher time frame ideas, just because over time they typically do happen. It's just it takes time, right? And once it initiates, it happens just at the snap of a goddamn fingers, like good old Nicholas Martin. So with all that said, I do believe that Bitcoin going to be spending some time within this region, but we probably are closer to a local top here than not. Looking at all of our higher time frames, we're going to be building up once again some divergences, but remember that they're not technically considered divergences until we actually get a local top being put in place. And right now, this is just continuation in the way that I look at it. There's no local top, not even, the closest thing that we have to a local top is maybe on like an hourly. Yeah, we do have a nice, massive, long-legged doji doodle right on over here. So this very well could be a local top, but for right now, I wouldn't be willing to call this even a local top on an hourly, not even a daily, but on a fucking hourly, until we actually take out the low of that prior dildo, which is about 12,162.22, so 22 cents right there. And then I'd be looking for a move back down below 12,000 and probably fill out the area between about 11,500 to 12,000-ish region. But for right now, Bitcoin looking very resilient in this area and actually going to give another try to the upside is what it looks like. This is one of the few times where I would go down to the very low time frames. We do see 5-minute over here, 5-minute looking constructive. So this video will self-destruct. This analysis right here on the 5-minute will self-destruct relatively soon, but probably looks like it does want to pop back up towards 12,750-ish region, maybe even 12,850-ish region. Looks like it wants to consolidate a little bit here at our first consolidation on a lower time frame after the big bad break, and right now that's gonna kind of dictate this next phase, I suppose you could say, from the lower time frames. Again, anything below a 4 hour is kind of what I consider a lower time frame. And going back to the hourly right on over here, I would be willing to call a continuation if we do take out the top side of this dildo as well, this long-legged doji right here. So it's offering up two trade potentials going both ways. Do we take out the upside or the downside? If we take out the upside first, and yes, I'm looking for a continuation officially towards 13,300, so about a $300 trade right there, to 13,500 a share, kind of like a range, so 300 to 500 bucks. And if we take out the low side of it, which again is 12,162, then I'd be looking for a move back down and filling out the 11,500 range to about 12,000ish range, and spend some time within there. So that's kind of like the next sort of lower to medium time frame idea. Whichever one happens first is what I'd be looking for. But all of the targets that we were looking for already got hit, and we're actually about to hit the 5-minute target right here. Crazy, right? Fucking crazy. But my point is that yesterday was a big day. We saw the measure move get hit on the ascending triangle that we were looking at all the way back on over here, right? It was way. It feels like so long ago now. It was way back on over here, right here. We got the measure move hit, a little bit of consolidation as you see right on over here, and then that led on into the daily closing above the next critical level that we spoke about yesterday as well, which was the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement right on over here at about 11,500, 11,300. And when that happened, that's when I said that, hey, we're going to enter into a little bit of a new phase where, generally we're probably going to rip to the upside, given the lack of volume profile. So just kind of, carrying everything on over and making sure that this is all kind of coherent. You do see the volume profile right over here just having extremely low market acceptance. So this actually would suggest that we might have a little bit more to go. In fact, it really doesn't start to come in once again until we get to about 14,000, funnily enough. But keep in mind that this past prior area from what was it, early 2018 and late 2017, right on over here, likely going to play a role in this. So this is really the only things that I have to really go off of right now. We can judge it right now, or let's actually get off the volume profile. We can actually chart this out right now if I already haven't done it, which looks like I have. But let's get rid of this and redo it, and we can make a nice little range here and actually understand. So we got this swing high right here at about 12,700, and that's basically where we are right now. Then we want to get the wick of that, and also the swing low right on over here. So I like this range, actually accurately getting our current top. Funnily enough, well, not funnily enough, I mean it should have some merit to it. But 12,930 to about 12,715. That's this area right on over here. If we do start to break above 12,900, let's call it 12,950, then technically speaking, from a horizontal perspective, really not much stopping us from 14,130. So that would actually match up with our next levels from the volume profile perspective. So we are, like I said, in no man's land right now, and I would be more cautious than not in this region. And bringing everything back on all together once again, we do see this sort of a signature, which we are kind of encompassed by the 618 around these higher value, like relatively higher value nodes. These are in no way, shape, or form like high value nodes, but they are relatively compared to what's surrounding them. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at right now. Of course, if Bitcoin does, get above that 14,000-ish pivot, then we can start talking about getting back to 16,000. But for right now, one thing at a time. In fact, yeah, about 16,000 looks about right. But for right now, one thing at a time, and you do see that it's probably going to spend a little bit of time within this region as we shake it out. But lower time frames and medium time frames are quite clear. Whichever way you see this next hourly get taken out, probably going to see some follow through on top of that. Which again, to the upside is 12,940. Oh damn! So matching up so perfectly with this horizontal right here, almost to the T, and into the downside 12,162.22 is what I'd be looking for. Let's take a gander at our low time frame oscillators, because this is where they typically do get things quite well. And we do see hourly stokes actually heading down right now, which have been very good at getting the price action. I do like playing the crosses with the overall macro trend more than the downside, but this is a good signal that we are going to consolidate this region for a little bit of time. Let's go over to a 4 hour. I'm curious how this guy's looking. 4 hours going to be looking like he wants to cross down as well. Now keep in mind, isn't necessarily a rally killer. I do believe that we are creating a trend line right here, and we probably will see some, you know, the counter trend action probably does bring it back down to this region, and that's going to be the next potential trending buy in a consolidation. And let's go on over now to the 8 hour. Let's work our way through these medium time frames. 8 hour still working their way up, and it's actually still constructive, but getting up to that level where they start to get a little bit more top heavy. Forgot the 6 hour, which actually have been pretty well as well, and they're actually up as well. 12 hours going to be up, I'd imagine. Yes, and that was kind of the impetus for yesterday getting bullish once again, looking for the trending move to transpire yesterday, because the 12 hour Stokes did cross back up to the upside, and these have been so good on the crosses with the macro trend. So the upside crosses have been so fucking good for the past 6 months, and even though we're in the more critical zone, it means nothing. There's no such thing as, you know, as too high or too low when it comes to oscillators. There's no such thing as overbought or oversold. That is a fucking meme perpetuated by people who, you know, get caught up in the Investopedias of the world. It's like, it's too high, guys. That RSI way too high. We must be going down now. It's like, no, you're gonna get absolutely caught up in the divergence fuckboy dildo fest, because these guys have been calling divergence the whole goddamn way through, and this is exactly what I mean by waiting for the next local high in order to confirm that. And we just haven't even seen anything that resembles a local high here for weeks. I mean, weeks. There goes my voice cracking. Yeah, I mean, nothing really resembling a local high for a while. And again, I do want to follow up with yesterday as well, because I forgot to mention this. Yesterday we saw that pretty nasty hunt. Remember yesterday during the live stream, we saw this nasty hunt down to about $11,000 even, and we said on stream that, hey, whenever you see something like this that gets no follow through, that is a clear and obvious signal that we are going to be headed upwards and onwards. We've seen this so many fucking times. We have a very aggressive down movement, and then no follow through, and then just floats up. We saw it right here. We saw it right here. We saw it right here. Well, we also saw it right here. We also saw it right here. We also saw it right here. We also saw it in a few examples right on over here in early March as well. So that is the difference between, you know, a big psychological and also just marker difference between a bull market and a bear market is during a bull market, you get about 5 minutes to buy the spike lows, whereas in a bear market, it's the exact same but opposite. You get about 5 minutes to sell the tops, and then it just floats on the other way. So that was a pretty significant signal that we saw yesterday, and that is why I was getting bullish yesterday, and that is why I'll be holding these positions long for a while longer. I mean, if that's not redundant enough, but bringing them up right on over here again. Still my position from 39.30, 51.80, and 91.80 as well, and the gifts that just keep on giving. So this is what I mean by, you know, the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. I know a lot of people thought I was crazy by buying 91.50, you know, when that first happened, just like they thought I was crazy when I bought 51.50 and also 39.30, even at a time when I was bearish as well. But technical analysis, you know, is what governs my trade, not my opinion. So my opinion, as always, is fucking worthless. Technical analysis worth full, opinion worth less. And basically, you know, we're just kind of seeing all this play out right now. I do want to check out our very high time frames, or perhaps not our very high time frames, but getting into our high time frames. We do see daily right on over here. Daily Stokes getting a little bit more tired. And yes, this is the area where, historically speaking, they don't like to stay too long within this region. So it is a little bit of a warning sign. We also do see daily RSI, again, going to be creating some divergences here. But it's not until we set on that local high where it becomes an actual actionable type thing. Daily Jewel, this is not a sell signal with the red in the background. It's only a warning signal, but for right now, historically speaking, we are getting near those highs that we've seen before. Can get a little bit higher towards a 91 to 94 marker is looking like our all-time highs on this oscillator. So again, it is a little bit more of a consideration, and I do want to show the crypto fear and greed index actually getting up to a 95. So this is starting to get a little bit more scary to me. So I would be willing to call a local top relatively soon. I do think that Bitcoin does kind of run a momentum somewhere within this region, somewhere between about 13,500 and basically our current high. I don't think that we're going to take another leg up before going into a consolidation. So take that as you will, but that's again just my opinion. For right now, I'm still holding those long positions open. So, and I don't really see any reason to close them. Anyways, with regards to what we're looking at on the on spot charts here, I want to go to the 2-day now. 2-day did close a girthy green doodle last night. In fact, very powerful. And then just getting continuation on top of that. Of course, it goes without mentioning that all higher time frames, we've been saying for the past 4 or in some cases few months, all of them have bullish posturings. Bitcoin above all major moving averages on the daily. We're getting divergence between all major moving averages as well. The biggest indication was actually right on over here at about $8,000 once we got the full on bullish posturing where the 200 exponential crossed above the blue 377 exponential moving average, which just set the base for the more long-term rally. And this is why I'm always paying attention to the higher time frames, because they keep you in those trending trades, whereas the lower time frames you can have some very brutal shakeout attempts, especially when Bitcoin's at these higher price point numbers. Those shakeouts look very violent on a percentage basis. Obviously not too much different, but at real time, when you see a $1,000 move to the downside, it can be a little bit jolting. Anyways, 2-day Stokes right on over here, getting into that area where, again, we don't like to spend too much time in this area. It's again another warning sign, but still not even curling down, still cross the upside, to be fair. And 2-day R side gonna be creating some divergence here, but we need to set in a local high first, and we do not have that at all whatsoever just yet. And more importantly, let's go to the 3-day, because the 3-day is what I'm really going to be judging to, is what I'm going to really be using to judge the next, not just local high, but also major retracement to the tune of likely 30 to 40%. As we can see, the 3-day will be setting in another 3-day doodle later tonight in stone at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And what I really want to be watching is the 3-day jewel. This is how I'll be judging it. If and when this 3-day jewel, the light blue oscillator is what I'm referring to, gets into this dotted trend, into the region outlined by these dotted trend lines right here, that is, from a historical standpoint, a extremely high percentage chance to open up to a very nasty downturn to the tune of typically about 30 to 40%. Yes, we do have some outliers of like 60 to 70%, but I'm not really expecting anything like that. I'm expecting something, probably more akin to what we saw on over here, during this example of about a 32.5% down, or perhaps this example right on over here towards about 32.5% as well, or this guy right on over here towards about 35%, or this example right on over here towards about 45% as well. So you get the idea is that if we do see that happen, I will be calling a top, and I will be calling 30 to 40% retracement most likely. Maybe it ends up being a little bit more, but keep in mind that this actually would be confluent with a lot of things. We go back on over here, we put on our drawing tools, we'll see very clearly that not only are we at the 618 Fibonacci retracement, but if we were to play out a 30 to 40% retracement from that area, what would it look like? Well, we can actually just just do it right here. And where that put us at, the 30% retracement would put us right around the 382 Fibonacci retracement. If we got, and remember 30% is kind of on the lower side for that, but what if we got more of a range towards about 35%? Well, that would put us right around 8,500. Well, you probably remember that both those areas are areas of great interest, right? Going over here to CMEs, we do see that on CMEs there's still a massive gap right around the 8,500-ish level. So if we did have a 35% down move, that would make sense. And where was that also aligned around? Well, it was also aligned around, if I can get back on over here, the 382 Fibonacci retracement, kind of outlining that area as well. So a couple of technicals pointing down in that direction. More importantly, I do want to wait for that signal to be given off first, but for right now, just kind of playing around with ideas. It would suggest that we do spike this area a little bit around the low 13,000-ish region, and probably take its time over the next few weeks, but overall, it is starting to become a little bit more. What's going on right here? Sorry about that. Just looking at my phone, going crazy as ever. All the liquidations coming through, great, fucking amazing from whale calls and all that good shit. But more importantly, we are approaching an area where I do feel it's warranted to be a little bit more defensive. I'm really starting to feel that way now, although we haven't gotten the indications with the indicators that I'd really be looking for. But it's only going to take one local top to be put in for this guy to initiate probably a pretty nasty retracement, but still not quite present just yet. And this would suggest that we probably spend some time around this this 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, which is like the low 13,000. So Bitcoin likely to put in some time here, and if we do start to see some signs of exhaustion, then then I think it's time to take action. But for right now, still actually not time to take action. Let's go check out the longs and shorts. Longs and shorts, very interesting. So we see about 29,000 open shorts versus 27,000 and a quarter open longs, and this is what we were talking about yesterday. This was a lot of shorts getting trapped. Now I'm sure that a lot of shorts actually got absolutely oh my God, actually not so many shorts got wrecked here. We did, yeah, only about a few hundred coins actually. So we still have a lot of shorts actually trapped. So am I going to be wrong on that? And we actually have the fuel to go much higher. This would actually suggest so. And I should be very, very deliberately clear with that. We have a lot of people trapped here. We have people trapped all the way down towards June 11th, June 12th, and more aggressively towards June 17th to June 18th. And price action during those time frames was all the way down here for June 11th. I mean, we were actually a little bit under 8,000, and June 17th to June 18th, we were just getting above 9,200. So a lot of these people are severely underwater right now. I'm sure a lot of these guys are hedged. Let's actually go check that out. We can certainly document this. Yeah, about 3,500 guys are hedged. So we really have 26,000 open naked shorts versus 27.25 open longs. So we do have an imbalance actually in the favor of the longs when we look into the metrics of this. Again, I don't put too much weight on these things anymore. It's kind of more of a secondary, tertiary type thing, but is worth mentioning just because those positions are still very much real. So it will come into play. More importantly, let's go check out CMEs for a second. And CMEs having another gap up on the daily actually, so not bad. Gap is right around 11,500. So again, if we do initiate that downside, I would be looking for a bounce at around 11,400 to 11,500. I think it will be a tradable bounce, and we probably end up putting some time within this region. Looking at weekly for a second, weekly's just going to be continuation, nothing really crazy here. Weekly's kind of in no man's land as well, as you can see. In fact, let's redo this whole chart, and let's put on, I want to do a fib retracement. This is really the only thing to be doing right now, and go from ultimate high to ultimate low. You do see that the 618 is actually a little bit higher around that 14,000-ish region. So we do actually have some things pointing a little bit higher, but it is worth mentioning that CMEs have about a $300 or $200 to $300 premium on price, which is actually very, 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 very concerning, because we are about 5 days away from the end of the month, which will be expiration. And during expiration, the contracts will come into parity. They will come into parity. All the differences will be arbitraged away. And the fact is that there's still about $200, or sorry, almost $200 to $300 above spot. I mean, that's intense. That would imply that we have a lot more up to go, as people will be hedging against that. So they're going to be buying spot and then selling the futures. That's actually bullish right there. That's so fucking funny. Holy shit, man. Powerful. Oh my God. Anyways, other than that, don't really have anything unique to say about this chart that wasn't already said on spot. 4 hour had a pretty damn good closure. 4 hour actually looks like one's continued to the upside here. Hourly, hourly did look like a little bit of a shooting star dildo, but again, no follow through at all. And what's happening right now, we're actually just floating up once again so far with 10 minutes left to go on this hourly dildo. Let's go check out GBDC for a second. GBDC 1488, so did close the day still in its consolidation area range. I'm gonna imagine that GBDC probably does have another major gap up open, probably to the tune somewhere around $17, maybe 17 to 17.5 bucks, but not really telling us too much about price action right here, as it's it's not trading right now. Anyways, more importantly, going back on over to Bitcoin, I do want to check out a few other things here while we're at it. Going back down to the lower time frames, go down to a 15-minute. Yeah, 15 minutes, just another consolidation so far. You do see this massive spike down, but just as we've seen in the past, until we get any sort of fall through on that, it's getting bought back up once again, and allowing the very, 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 very low time frame also to just reset as we see the 15-minute Stokes kind of come back down. I do believe that they turn around somewhere the 60-ish marker, and again, just one of those things. We don't even have bearish divergence on the 15-minute RSI. That's so crazy. That is so fucking crazy. Holy shit. 15-minute historical volatility percentile is starting to redline, so I think that's the highest time frame redlining right now. 30 minutes not even there, so hourly is definitely not going to be there. Wow, holy shit, man. And the hourly is what was telling us yesterday that this was likely to break out to the upside as well and hit our targets. So now, if you don't have positions now, I'd just be kind of waiting around those specific pivots on the market. Of course, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I don't really see any reason to chase this right here, as I do believe that we are coming relatively for the whole rally to a close on this first phase. I'd imagine it's probably gonna be somewhere between 13,000 and 14,000 if I had to hazard a guess, hazard a gander, whatever the fuck bullshit I said the last time. Jesus Christ, man. So embarrassing that I don't even English. It's my only language. Don't even know it that well. My God, man. Anyways, and this is, I've probably picked on them all, enough already. But if you need any more evidence that the volume fuckboy is telling you that this rally's been born off of low volume, so we can't go any higher, and well, it's not working out too well for you. And also the fucking divergence bros as well, bro, you seen that RSI? You looking at that RSI, bro? That RSI is real high. It can't go higher, bro. We gotta go down now. Short this shit, sell it to the ground, because we're going lower. It's like, great one, man. Great one. Yeah, it's just that easy, man. You just wait till they get high and it can't go higher. It's overbought. It's that simple. It's like, wow, yeah, trading's that fucking easy, man. No, it's not. There certainly are some easy things about it, but that would not be it. And again, when people, when you have people saying all the same shit, it reminds me a lot of the bear market over here. I mean, when Bitcoin was screaming to the downside, I remember reading on Twitter, like somewhere right around about 4,200 on this leg right on over here, people were like, bro, that RSI, it's like a 10. It's screaming buy. We got to get in now. It's like, all right, yeah, and just eat another $1,500 drop on a $4,000 number. Not the best idea. Point is that really being patient with these trending moves is the key here. And I want to remind myself as well again that, remember, it's the weekly Challenger bands that have been governing us up the whole way. This is why when we came into this week, we said it was likely to continue trend to the upside. And this is really all that it has to be. We are once again well above the top Challenger band, which is currently coming in around 11,400, 11,500. So we have another structural area coming in right around 11,500. So that would tell me that we probably do get a move down to 11,500 probably in the next week, if even if we remain bullish in this region, just to come back down and retest that region, which is completely fine. It's completely healthy. So really the next big things that I'm looking forward to know if we're going to get even more continuation up to the $14,000 level is I want to see this weekly close above the top Challenger band, which all it needs to do is close above 11,400, 11,500. Then next week I'd actually be looking to be a buyer around that region as well. So right now Bitcoin looking strong as fuck. Yes, we see weekly Stokes all the way at the top, but that's okay. During strong trending moves, they'll stay at the top. Weekly RSI, same thing. We don't have divergence just yet. It is working its way up and it's quite aggressive, but until we actually get a signal, there's really nothing to be playing, and it's all just mental masturbation. Let's go look at gold now. A lot of people have been asking about gold, and I think gold's quite an interesting chart just because it broke out with Bitcoin, and so we've been looking at this for quite some time. And really, what gold comes down to, if you're trading the higher time frames, is this right here, the monthly. Do we close above or below the pivot of about 13, let's just call it 1400 to be a little bit safe and safu with it. If gold closes above about 1400 on the monthly in the next few days, then yes, I do believe that we get some more continuation. My opinion is that we get some more continuation, probably up to about 1500, a little bit above 1500. I do have a measure move actually pointed up there as well, coming off of this, this major consolidation, which is officially about 15, 12, 15, 13-ish region. But as you can see on the lower time frames, we are coming to a little bit of a local high. So I do believe that gold probably on the lower time frames probably does have a little bit of losing it a little bit, to be fair, losing it a little bit right here. Probably does grind this area out, and I do think that it pops back up to about 415 to 420-ish region, and then I do think that we probably get a little bit more continuation down to start next month. Sometime next month we probably come back down to about 1380-ish, give or take a few bucks, and I think that that's going to be the next potential trending buy for some like gold. But this is a consolidation that's taken literally about 5 years, so Peter Schiff is very happy for his 1% move and talking shit about Bitcoin the whole way through. Fucking very classy, my friend. Just absolute great, just absolute fucking great sense, man. But overall, we see a lot of things, a lot of good things here. Monthly Stokes still very much upwards and onwards. Monthly RSI regaining the exponential, and that was a tell early this month that we were going to break out to the upside. Now we're just seeing it follow through, getting into the bullish control zone, and not only that, but weekly Stokes having plenty of room to roll here, baby. And we do see weekly RSI getting a little bit higher on there, but again, I only care about divergences. So first things first, I think it's gonna take its time, but probably sometime next month it gives you another chance to likely get in on the overall trend at a decent price. Tentatively speaking, anywhere around here, around that 1370 to 1380-ish pivot, offers up a good risk reward potential. So that's what I'd be looking at on something like this. Let's go check out traditional markets really quick. Traditional markets on the weekly still looking, the weekly still looks okay. It's a daily that does look a little bit scary here. But remember, we are coming into the closure of the monthly on this guy as well, which I believe the last trading day is going to be Friday. So just a couple more days of trading, and then we'll set in the monthly essentially. And if the monthly closes basically anywhere above 290, I would probably be bullish on this coming into next month. We do see monthly Stochs still upwards and onwards, grabbing the same area that we've seen for the last 10 years since November 2009. Not only that, but we do see the weekly having a fresh cross the upside as well. So in defending the bullish control zone, so to me this does probably get some continuation to the upside. I do think that lower time frames, you know, we pulled back here to our target of 291, actually even overshot it by a few cents. Does look like it might even come back down to about 289-ish region, but I would be looking for bounces within this region. I don't really have an opinion on the lower time frames. It's the higher time frames that I have an opinion on, and right now, you know, lower. If I had to say something about lower time frames, probably a little bit lower. Higher time frames, I do think get continuation coming into next month. But daily does look like it wants a little bit lower here. Daily RSI losing the exponential, daily Stochs coming down as well, and losing the 10 simple probably comes back down to the 21 at around 289 even, and then we'll rejudge from there. But let's go check out the top shitcoins now. What about where's Mr. Buteral doing? Yeah, Mr. Buteral 331 and 14 cents. So nice, taking up another leg. I don't really have any targets in this region. My next target for Mr. Buteral is actually much higher, funnily enough, at around about 360. 360 is the next sort of pivot I see between, sorry, not even 360, but I guess it's more like 375 to about $400 is the next major area that I see. We did obviously hit the first target, but that was last week, so that's old news now. Just getting continuation here, looking good. We're seeing more moving averages migrate above lower periods migrate above higher periods. So, you know, kind of similar to Bitcoin, but just, you know, happening at a later date essentially. And going over to the weekly right on over here. Hey, I just realized that my camera's way off base. Sorry about that. Let's get my rat face in visual view and my disgusting bad hair day once again. Just another bad hair day for myself. But now we can see it all well and good. And we actually do see the 236 Fibonacci retracement coming in right around here. So I want to make a relationship between both Bitcoin and Buteral, which Buteral has just as of last month regained the yellow 21 exponential moving average, and now has used it to rally off of, and in longer term, you know, looks like it wants to take a leg towards the 236 at around 380-ish region. Well, remember Bitcoin, and this was the big thing that I was harping on for, you know, months and months and months and months, going all the way back on over here, that the yellow 21 exponential moving average is something that I use from a long-term perspective. Back in the days of myself being an actual market maker, authorized trader on the floor of New York Stock Exchange, are to judge if something was generally bullish or generally bearish over a long period of time. If you're above, generally bullish; below, generally bearish. Bitcoin regained it right on over here a few months ago in April, and ever since then, it's been the next month was insane. I mean, about 70% move to the upside, and this next month here, I mean, just as insane, I suppose. Another cumulative 150% move. So that's what I really want to show, is that Mr. Buteral, while coming in later, is following Bitcoin, and we do see a similar setup here. So the 236 is going to be the next major target from a macro standpoint. Then we can talk about the 382 at around 569. But for right now, you know, it's still got a lot of work to do here. I do think that it does follow Bitcoin daily, weekly, monthly, all looking like they want continuation. So the lower time frames, you know, what do we say here? You know, overall fine. I'd treat this as a breakout as long as it's above about 320. 320 is the actionable area. We can put in a nice horizontal right here, no problem. Maybe even a little bit lower than that, and that's fine. You know, as long as we remain above this area, the direction is up, and I'd be targeting those moves on the more macro scale. So it's not going to happen today or tomorrow, but over time, likely does hit those targets as I cough up some ground beef. Let's go check out Mrs. Litecoin. Mrs. Litecoin not getting too much love on this rally. But holding in its ascending triangle still, and even though we had a little bit of a down yesterday, I do believe that we're still okay within this region. So yesterday I called a move down to about 130. We got down to about 129. Sorry, I shouldn't say that I called it. No, I fucking hate it when I say that, because I really dislike it when other people do it. There's no such thing as calling something. It's like I see these people all the time on crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube saying, I called it, I knew it, precision, decimal to decimal, I'm the best, I knew what the fuck I'm doing, and I don't have any trade to show. That's usually what happens. It's like, of course you have to bark about, you know, you calling something if you don't get an actual positions, or if your positions are super low to begin with, which is completely fine. It's just, you know, it's an illusion is what a lot of people are presenting. So that's how I really want to differentiate myself by actually showing my these are real trades born off of my streamer account, yes, but they are certainly real trades. And looking at the price action right on over here, I do believe that we just redraw this as an ascending triangle. It's still holding this area right on over here. We do see that it is getting some love, and I would not get bearish on Mrs. Litecoin until we actually close a 4-hour delta below this trend line, which we have failed to do so far. And right here, right now, you know, still filling this area out, probably going to take its time. time. If it can break above this this resistance at about 142, then I would be looking at a measure move towards about 155 and probably beyond. But for right now, still consolidating, still kind of, a little bit of a laggard in this market right now. Let's go check out the other top shitcoins. What's Mr. Link doing? Link versus Bitcoin. Link versus Bitcoin coming down to major supports on the 4-hour, but that's not the time frame that I'm concerned with the most. Hey, not bad. Hit the 21,000 target. Not bad on that, but immediately down after that. So that's not so good. We do see a trend line forming here, and it is seeming to be walked up by the green 50 exponential moving average. So if Link does come back down to about 15,000 or anywhere around 15,000 satoshis, I do think that it gets picked up there. But for right now, very difficult for most alts in this market, even if they're as strong as Link, to keep up with Bitcoin when Bitcoin is trending and trending very strongly. Most altcoins look some variation of what we're going to see right on over here on this nameless one called Cardano, which, as we said coming into this week, I'm going to have to be bearish on alts for a little bit of time, just because the Bitcoin dominance chart is looking bullish, and we're getting that continuation on Cardano. I don't have targets on this one. It's kind of like past the area of targets. We're basically in a black hole breakdown now, making new lows. Or have we made new no, we haven't. No, we have not made new lows from like the all-time perspective, but past our prior lows, yes, now we are making once again new lows. So we're still trending to the downside, just lower highs and lower lows for the eternity of this one's life. And I don't mean to pick on Cardano. I know that Cardano has a lot of fans. Maybe it's a great coin. Maybe it's going to change the world, but this is no different than most of the other charts. Most of the other charts look some variation of this, some worse, some a little bit better. And this one kind of like par for the course essentially. And it really comes down to this, the Bitcoin dominance chart right on over here. The Bitcoin dominance chart was the big key, and we've been bullish on this for quite some time. And right now I still have to be bullish on it. I do think that we take a leg up towards a first 65, but we're already at the 65 target. Okay. Well, that already happened. Then I'd have to say the next target is going to be about 69.25 over here. So that would imply still some more pain for alts. The weekly posturing looks bullish. We do see weekly Stokes having a fresh cross, literally a fresh cross back up to the upside, defending the bullish control zone. Not only that, but daily right on over here, just continuation on continuation. We do see the monthly as well looking pretty damn good. In fact, the monthly, going back to the conversation of the yellow 21 exponential moving average, we do see just regained it literally last month right on over here, and immediately massive girthy green dildo poked up to the sky, and this one even has a little bit more room to go. So this would suggest that alts versus Bitcoin will be in a little bit more pain. Will also suggest that alts versus US dollar are probably okay. I mean, we can go back to Cardano and do a little bit of a use case on this, or a case study on this, and looking at the US dollar pairing, looks fine. Looks like it's constructive. Looks like it wants to break out probably towards 12.5 cents over some amount of time. But for right now, the Satoshi pairing is getting beat up a lot. But I actually do like this chart right here. Let's see what else we got. BNB, what's BNB doing? BNB not leading, kind of following here. Yeah, certainly not leading, but following here. I do think that this one works its way up. I do think that it ends up following Bitcoin and hitting 40 bucks and probably beyond there. But for right now, weekly still looks good. Weekly still looks fine. I'd give it the benefit of the doubt here, but not leading the market. It's following Bitcoin. So yeah, probably shorter term target gonna be about 40 bucks. Longer term on top of that, don't really have a target on top of that. We're gonna go back to a blue sky breakout if that happens. Zcash actually getting rejected. So Zcash does have some downside here. I would say back down to about 99.25, and then I'll be looking for a bounce at 99.25. Bcash, what's Bcash doing? Following, okay, not bad. Bcash looks like he wants to continue to the upside, probably back up towards the 520 to 530-ish range. Looking at weekly looks fine to me. Weekly could actually very much explode towards about 566. So a little bit more longer term, I'd be looking for that. But shorter term, the targets that we briefly spoke about at the beginning. Tron Cash, what's Tron Cash doing? Still stuck at that 4 cent area. We did hit 4 cents again, so target has been met once again. But let's go back down to the daily. I fucking hate that I said that. Jesus Christ, man. I really need to stop that habit. I really dislike it. Looks to me like a very, very sloppy cup and handle right here. Yes, this can sometimes work out. It's not going to be perfect on alts because there's really not that much trading liquidity for these guys. But we do have a measure move to be made on this, and I guess I've already done it. But somewhere around about 4.6 cents, about 4.6 is where I'd be looking towards overall. I think that this one does follow the rest of the market. This looks like a massive bottoming formation right here, and we're actually getting ready for a pretty nice markup. Neo, what's Neo doing? Hitting $20 once again, almost 21 bucks, so not bad at all. Hit the next trend line that we have right over here. Do we see any sort of selling action going on right now? Yeah, we do, and we are hitting the blue 3/7 exponential moving average, as you can see right on over here as I bring it into visual view, and rejection off of it so far. I do think that Neo puts in a little bit of consolidation here. I don't think that it takes out this area just yet. It's going to probably trade sideways, maybe back down to about $17.50, $18, and then we'll reassess from there. But overall, you know, nice little move. Probably wants to consolidate for now. EOS, what's EOS doing? EOS not getting the same love either. In fact, a little bit concerned with this one. I was looking for this one to get back up to $8, but I think I'm probably gonna be wrong on that. For now, let's look at the weekly. No, weekly's still okay. I have to roll with the higher time frames here. Don't want to get locked up in the lower time frames. Even a daily isn't good enough right now. It's a weekly that I really want to be watching on, and I'll still stick with, you know, $8 or so, 8.25, somewhere in this region here, and probably gets continuation onwards and upwards after that. But lower time frames are droopy. They're still red in the 4-hour 200 simple, so that is okay. But hey, yeah, gonna take its time. It was leading at some point, but not so much anymore. Ripple me nipples, headed back up towards 47.5 cents. I am still bullish on this one. I think that it's just flagging out right here, and it's getting ready for a move towards 52 cent, and then probably 60 cent region, a little bit more long term. But this just looks like a break of this ascending triangle right over here to the upside. We come back down, retested it. Retest is good, and now flagging out as we consolidate and get ready for another move to the upside. Monero, what's Monero doing? Monero big move. Ooh, big move down. That's actually quite nasty. That's a pretty nasty reversal right there. Actually, this is a reversal. Major volume on this high and selling. Also good wick to the downside as well. So that would be considered a bull wick as of right now, but a little bit too early to be judging this one. I do think that Monero attempts to bounce off this region, probably back up towards 111ish, or sorry, 112ish, 112.25, and then we'll reassess from there on the lower time frames. Stellar, what's Stellar doing? Still in the fucking flag, man. Still in the flag. Holy shit, this is the flag of eternity. I do think that at some point Stellar does break this to the upside, and we'll have a target somewhere around like 12.5 cents, I believe it is. No, not 12.5 cents. What we need to see is a daily total close above this area of 13 cents, and then I'd have a first target of 15 cents, and then second target of about 18 cents, we'll call it. So yeah, back on to Bitcoin, and let's start to wrap this bitch up. You know, again, from the lower time frame perspective, really not too much else to be doing on this one. We actually just closed another hourly. Hourly did close with a nice body, so I do think that this one does try some more upside here, most likely. Lower time frames just consolidating within this region, trying to flag out right now. So it is looking like that we probably do try some more upside. It is very early to call this one, but fair enough. We can, you know, maybe judge this one prematurely. Again, this is bad technical analysis. What I'm doing, I'm making assumptions here, which is not a good idea. But this actually would have a measure move towards that 13,200 to 13,300 target, which is exactly where the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement is on the higher time frame. So I'd keep an eye on that. It's confluent with also the volume profile. Let's just actually bring up that chart once again. That area going to be confluent with a lot of major factors. It's a 618 right over here. Also, our horizontal from the highs being put in at around what was it, early 2018, late 2017 area. And also we do have a lot of activity coming in from the volume profile. Well, maybe not a lot of activity is the right word to be using, but some activity. You know, let's also pull this up as well. I need to pull up the chart of expected moves. 1 second, as I do this really quick. I do need to bring it up on my other screen really quickly here, and let's do it. Okay, I think I almost have it. Just 1 second. I do apologize about the lack of preparation for this one. Come on, baby, do it. There we go. Okay, and now I can just bring it on over here. There we go. And let's do something like this. So I'm going to put it on let's put it on a daily first here, not the 1 minute. That's scary as fuck. We're actually at the first ring, so we're at the 68%, which is right around 13,000. The 95% of this yellow ring right here, which is about 13,600. The 99% is actually at around 14,000. So this is starting to get pretty damn crazy. But keep in mind that, you know, if it's the second ring or the third ring, that's literally a chance of about 5% to 1%. You know, as you go upwards and onwards. More importantly, so I would say that if Bitcoin did get to 14,000 a day, that's probably gonna be an amazing sell for at the very least a nice scalp. But I just want to show that it's a little bit unlikely today. What's a little bit more likely is maybe that 13,300-ish region, which would kind of be somewhere between the 68 and 95, so probably maybe around like 80-ish, so that'd give it about a 20% chance, and we're pretty damn close already. Anyways, let's actually extrapolate this a little bit more, and I actually know how to do this now, so let's do this out on over here. Let's change this guy to a 30 days till expiration and see how that changes things. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. And let's actually take the, well, if we take this off, no, that's not going to help. But this is the expected moves on a weekly time frame. We do see the first the first ring, the first standard deviation coming in right around about actually 15,600. Holy shit. Oh my God. Wow. Powerful Bitcoin. Second standard deviation is actually 19,300, and third is going to be 24,000. Again, that's a chance of literally 1%. Actually, even less than that, because that would be inclusive of this guy to the downside right over here. So literally 0.5, 0.5%. This thing's accelerating hard. Anyways, back onto our spot charts. Let's start to wrap this page up. So again, a lot of activity being shoveled in this area. We do see that we have some standard, these standard deviation on the dailies coming in right around about 13,300, and we do see the 618. We do see the volume profile. We do see horizontal activity, and we do see the crypto fear and greed index getting up extremely high to 95. So it is a time to be a little bit more cautious, but we are approaching that area rather rapidly. We've pretty much hit it. I mean, when you look at it from this trajectory, you can kind of say that we've pretty much already hit it, actually, with the way that this is looking. All of our momentum oscillators, while still not giving a signal, are getting just 1 degree more crazy, which is okay. But it is, it does suggest that we're going to be seeing the end of this rally relatively soon, probably going to a much longer term consolidation. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say for right now. I'm going to be leaving you off with that. I'll be back on later with some more live stream analysis. Looking forward to seeing you there. If not, I want to wish you well anyways, and take care. Have a great Wednesday. There you go. Take care and see you soon.